Hello everybody, I'm Matt Heines and I ran as a congressional candidate. The primary was completed a little over 2 weeks ago, and I just want to give you some final updates on the election because up until now we've been fighting, trying to get the Secretary of State to overturn it and to refuse to certify it. And that is based on the following grounds. We had a federal employee who ran in the election, and I'll just throw these key dates at you. The election we registered for the election from the 6th to the 10th of May, and he was, according to his website, he was notified on the 12th, or at least they posted on the 12th of June, that he could not run because he was a federal employee. In fact, he is what he calls himself, a federal police officer. So this information went into the voter pamphlet. It was okayed by the Secretary of State's office, and nobody said anything. So I submitted an email today to the Secretary of State's office, and I said that they couldn't certify the election because this guy is a federal employee. He said so in his voter pamphlet, and then I cited the fact that I put on my voter pamphlet information, the first submission I did, I was wearing my Army jump wings, which I was awarded as a paratrooper, and they said that I couldn't have them. So they made me change my photo. And then they said my word count was 4 words over. So I had to change my word count. And so I argued that you at the Secretary of State's office went over my submission with a fine-tooth comb looking for anything you could find, and then telling me in another email, another correspondence, that my content, it was not really suitable for children because I talk about the migrant invasion, all the crime that's going on, and all the rapes and murders and everything that's happened under the Biden administration. So I just made the point that you guys went over my stuff with a fine-tooth comb, yet this guy on his thing says he is a federal law enforcement officer, and they let that go by completely. And the argument that I had was that they said that according to an email sent by Stu Jensen at the Secretary of State's office, he's in charge of elections, and I spoke to him, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what our conversation went like when I finish with what I'm saying about my email. But according to this Stuart Jensen, they were notified by this individual on the Monday after the deadline that we were supposed to register for the election. So based on that, this would have been May 13th. This person did not post on his website until June 12th that he had been notified that he was in violation of the Hatch Act, which says that he cannot run as a federal employee. Yet he continued to campaign, and he continued until the 20th of June. After being notified that he was in violation of federal law, he participated in the League of Women Voters debate with us. So based on all this, I said that this election was completely rigged, that it was not even possible for somebody who puts out not one campaign sign to get, he ended up third in the race. And also I argued that how did he possibly come up? He came up first. They do like a supposedly a drawing, and he supposedly came up first in the drawing, which, you know, I came up first before, and people say, well, if you're first on the ballot, you'll automatically get a lot of votes. So I don't know if that's true or not, but this guy ended up being first on the ballot. So not only was he first on the ballot, he's a federal employee, he can't even run, and supposedly he was first on the ballot by draw, by a lottery. And then my final argument is that the guy didn't put out one campaign sign. Not one campaign sign, yet he comes up third in the election. So, I mean, you would have to be an idiot to really think that this election in Washington State, the elections in Washington State, are not completely rigged. So, and I'm not trying to be a poor loser or a poor sport or anything, but I campaigned very, very hard. I worked all summer long, and I ended up getting less votes than a guy who didn't do anything, who shouldn't have even been in the election. And there were 3 of us that ended up getting less votes than him, and he almost ended up surviving to be in the general, at which point they would have had to throw him out and they would have given the race right straight to the Democrat. So anybody with a suspicious mind might think that there is really something afoot here and that this election was full of malfeasance. So I sent my email to the Secretary of State, and then I called them. So talking to Stu Jensen at the Secretary of State's office for Washington State, he said that in his email he sent to one of the other candidates, he said in his email that this individual notified them the Monday after the filing was finished, which would have been June 13th, sorry. But in my conversation with Stu Jensen, he said he called me, and I don't know exactly when he called. I can't find a record of when he called. But the thing is, he said if he had called on the 13th, they would have had plenty of time to take him off the ballot. But there's no evidence of when he called, because he says I can't find a phone record of when he called, so we don't know exactly when he called. But according to Stu Jensen in an email to another candidate, he contacted them on the 13th, which according to Stu Jensen of the Secretary of State's office would have been plenty of time to remove him from the ballot. So we don't know, there's no evidence or proof of when he actually contacted them, but we do know that from his website that on the 12th of June, he was told by the Office of Special Counsel, which works with the Federal Election Commission, that you cannot campaign. It is illegal for you to campaign. Yet he still participated in the League of Women Voters debate a week later. So he's still he's misleading the voters into thinking that he's still eligible to run. So this, and based on all this and the fact that he somehow, with not one campaign sign, no campaigning, that he somehow came up third in the race, it's just really too hard to believe. And the fact that they don't have a record of when he notified them, then, and that Stuart Jensen said, well, had he notified us on the 12th or the 13th, which is what Stuart Jensen said, we could have taken him right off the ballot. We could have taken him out of the voter pamphlet. But we don't have any evidence of a record of when he did contact us. But we just know that it's not on the 13th of June, which would have given us ample time. So that is the gist, that is the summary of the email I sent and the contact I had with the Secretary of State's office. So as far as I'm concerned, these elections, and I just want to say this in closing, is that I've run in 4 elections, and every time I meet a whole bunch of people that run for office, and the next time they're not around. And then you get a whole new batch of people, and the next time they're not around. And you get a whole new batch of people in the next one, and the next time they're not around. And then every one that comes, that has been in, I've run in this 1st District race 3 times. And every time the person that gets into the general election, they lose, the Republican I mean, they lose to the Democrat who's been there since 2010, is a Microsoft vice president, husband is a Microsoft vice president, is tied in with Microsoft and the pharmaceutical companies, and has $2.5 or $3 million to spend on the election, compared to our, we have a few thousand. So every time somebody runs, and then they are gone. Somebody runs, they get in the general election, then they're gone. Somebody runs, they get in the general election, and they're gone. So my strategy was I ran as a Trump Republican, and I said, well, and basically I wanted people to understand, if you're not voting for Trump, please don't vote for me, because I don't want to go to Washington and have to fight with a bunch of yahoos. So I just basically ran as a Trump Republican, and I am relieved actually that I don't have to continue on with this race. And so I just want to say finally that if you voted for me, and if you voted for me, because I've had thousands, I think 11,000 in this race supposedly. I had almost 14,000 in the last race. And that's 14,000 and 11,000 people who voted for me. And I had so many people who supported me and honked and waved when I was out campaigning and talked to me and said they were so happy that I was running. And then we come up with this. So I just want to tell you that I appreciate your votes. I appreciate your support. I appreciate getting to know all of you, and it's just been a great experience being able to participate in this process. But unfortunately, as you can see, you know, to continue on would be, you know, it's obviously a waste of time. It's very hard work. It's a lot of manual labor, and quite frankly, you know, you have people that come by and they give you the finger, they leave messages on your phone, and so it's, you know, it's great to be able to participate in democracy, but unfortunately, as much as I hate to say it, there's a lot of people that are, for lack of a better word, there's a lot of stupid people out there, and there's a lot of stupid people who vote because they want something from the person that's running. And they're not voting for who's the best candidate, who has the most knowledge, who is trustworthy and honest. They just want to vote for the person who's going to promise them something that more than likely they certainly can't deliver. And now our country's in a whole lot of trouble. So I just want you to know that I'm Matt Heines. I am a movie producer. I'm an author, so please check out my books. Please check out my movies. I'm doing a documentary on this election, and I'm working on a documentary on my last election. I'm making some changes to it. And so I've got other stuff out there that you would probably like, but as far as politics go, unless there was some drastic change in the world, and unless I had thousands of people coming to me saying, here's some money, please run in the next election, this is my last time. I've done my civic duty. I have tried to change things, and unfortunately, there's just no, you know, appetite for change. People just want to keep making things worse and not better. So this will probably be my last video on this channel, and if you watch it and you watch my previous videos, then you're looking at more of historical archives and a lesson in, well, what happens in American politics that to people that try to make a difference, that are not crooked and that don't have millions of dollars to spend and don't make millions of dollars when they're in Congress. So I appreciate your time, and I just want to say good luck to you. I hope that God will watch over you and protect you, and I wish you luck in the times ahead, because the times ahead are probably not going to get better. They're probably going to get a lot worse, and if you didn't vote for me, you only have yourself to thank for that, and you're going to have to live with the consequences of your decisions. So thank you very much. I'm Matt Heines. Check me out at hindsight.com. Check me out at encountersusa.com. Check out my books, check out my movies, and check out some of the cool stuff I'm going to have for you in the future. So I've been fighting for you, and unfortunately, the fight now is going to have to go to somebody else, because I want to make money, and I want to do movies and books, and I want to entertain people, and I want to have fun for whatever life I have left. So take care of yourselves. Goodbye and good luck.
My name is Matthew Heines. I'm a veteran. I'm a veteran of the 82nd Airborne. I took the oath. and I'm here to defend my state.
Congressman Susan DelBene has been in office since 2012. Using her substantial financial resources, thanks to Microsoft, and her $84 million fortune, she has been able to continually maintain an office where people still have little idea what she's done. Well, she's learned to dance around, and she's learned to do all the political maneuvers you have to do to keep getting reelected. Well, Susan DelBene, it's time for you to go.